Hello and welcome to this special session on mental wellness for UPSC aspirants. I'm Nanda Kumar, and today's session is part of Sercle PCM mentorship program by Sercle IAS. And we are fortunate to have Ms. Nincy Mariam Mondly, a professional counseling therapist with a master's degree in counseling and family therapy. Nincy, welcome and thank you for joining us. As we all know, the journey to clear this highly competitive UPSC CSE exam is incredibly challenging, and throughout the preparation and even during the exams, many aspirants face various mental health challenges. Recently, discussions on mental health among aspirants have gained attention following the tragic flooding incident in a Delhi coaching institute and the unfortunate loss of three of our beloved aspirants. The death of Anna Sebastian, a corporate employee, due to work related stress. We lost her, and this further emphasizes the importance of addressing mental health issues proactively. The Serai Circle Mentorship Program is designed specifically for aspirants who have already started their preparation and appeared for exams. As someone who has gone through all six attempts of mine and experienced every stage of this exam, I can personally attest to the critical need for maintaining both mental and physical well being during this journey. I often wish I had access to such guidance earlier in my preparation. And this session is a core part of our course because we want to proactively address the mental health challenges that may arise or already present during your preparation. And this particular session is strategically placed before our subject specific sessions to make sure that we get most out of the sessions with a healthy mind and body. And here is how we have structured the session. First, Nincy will address the common mental health challenges of aspirants and how these issues escalate when not addressed promptly. And after that, she will share effective strategies to maintain mental wellness throughout the preparation phase and even during the exam process. And finally, we'll open the floor to your questions. So feel free to ask. And I encourage you to actively engage. Once again, I welcome you.
Thank you, Nandu. Thank you for that warm welcome. I'm glad that I could get this opportunity to address such an important issue, especially with people like you who are going through a lot of stress on a day-to-day basis. He has already introduced me, but let me just introduce myself. My name is Nincy Mariam Mondly, and I stay in Kerala. I am a counseling psychologist. Currently, I work in Pallium India, which is an NGO that provides palliative care. So apart from that, I've completed my master's in counseling and family therapy, and I find a lot of meaning in being able to help people who are going through a lot of distress. And today, as Nandu said, we'll be talking about the common issues that happen, okay, especially when you're preparing for such a competitive exam like this, and what happens when these issues are not addressed at the right time. I'm not sure how many of you have heard this proverb. It's called a stitch in time saves nine. Okay, so it's about acting immediately when you have some sort of issues where they're handled in the proper manner. So without having proper direction as to how to address these issues, a lot of you, when you're facing issues, you don't know what to do, how to handle them. So consider this as an opportunity to do exactly that. Okay, whatever you're going through, help is available. That's the first and most important thing I'd like to share with you today, that help is available. Okay, and you have to reach out to help yourself. And finally, I mean, once we have covered all these issues, okay, all the issues are not possible, but after speaking about that, I intend to show you some of the helpful techniques, okay, strategies that you can use on your own to help yourself get through this phase. So as I begin, I'd like all of you to have a paper and pen or pencil ready with you so that you'll be able to reflect as I speak, and as I put some questions to you, you can reflect and write down whatever you're feeling. Yeah, so if you don't already have a paper and pen next to you, please take your time and get them. Yeah, I'll just, meanwhile, I'll just share my screen over here. Okay, so first, what we're going to do is, before I speak anything, I want you to take some time and look at these pictures. Okay, I'll show a couple of pictures like this. Try to reflect on how you feel seeing this picture. Okay, how can you connect to this picture, if at all, if in any way you're able to connect. So I'll show these couple of pictures. If you feel like writing something down, you can write it down, but use this opportunity to just reflect on yourself, what you're feeling. Okay, what you're feeling right now, or in the recent times, what you, I won't be asking you to share what you've written, unless of course you wish to talk about it. Yes, we'll be glad to hear from you. Okay, so just take some time and look at this picture and see if you're able to connect to it in any way. Now, if it is not already clear, the picture shows this someone who is swimming across this ocean, probably. Okay, swimming in the ocean, and the person seems to be alone. Okay, that is what is visible in the picture. So just take some time and see if any part of this picture you're able to connect to and write about it freely. Writing helps you think. Okay, that is why I'm asking you to write. And now let's look at the next picture. Okay, I got all of these pictures from Google. Okay, so yeah, this is more of an abstract picture. So again, it's the same thing. See if you're able to connect to this picture in any way. And if that doesn't happen, that's also okay. Okay. There is no compulsion that you need to connect to the picture in any way. Okay, you can be as honest as no, I didn't feel anything seeing the picture. That is also fine. And I'm going to the next picture. Yes, all of these pictures have something to do with the sea and ocean and everything. I'll come to that in a short while, okay? And that's the next picture. So if any of you have missed in between, what I've asked you to do is look at these pictures and reflect on how you're feeling seeing this picture. Try to find if any part of you feels connected to the picture. Okay, it can be the smallest, most minute detail of the picture, or it can be the large picture as such. And that's the next picture. That's inside the water. Okay, if that is not clear, the lady appears to be at the depth of the water. So just let me know if any of you felt connected to the pictures. Was it possible to reflect on those pictures? Nandu, can you read out the chat for me? It is hard for me to see the chat.
Someone has shared their feelings. People
Yeah.
in endless journey and the people tried to survive in this struggling period. This is what Midun has
Okay,
taught.
thank you. Thank you, Nitin, for sharing that. Anyone else, when you looked at those pictures, did you see yourself in those pictures? Or did you see someone else you know in those pictures? If you feel like sharing, okay, if it is okay to share, you may. You can also put it in the chat box if that is comfortable for you. Yes. So now let me show. Okay, we have got one more chat. Can you read that out for me?
It is some choose to move against the wave.
Uh-huh.
Waves are basically the obstacles. This is what Sneha is feeling.
Some choose to move against the waves, fighting the waves. Yeah. Thank you, Sneha. So I'll tell you why I chose those pictures again. Okay, let me just go back to that again. Yes, so hope you're able to see my screen. Yes, so from what I've seen, what I've known, very often as you prepare for this exam, UPSC exams, or let's say any competitive exams like this, which takes a lot of time, a lot of effort and patience, okay, and it's so vast. What you need to study, what you need to achieve, it's so vast. I've often felt like it's like swimming in the ocean. There is, you have so much to cover and you don't even know that you'll reach the other end. Okay, it feels so vast and you feel alone in that. Okay, now what I'm saying is what I felt, okay, listening to the stories of what I've heard from others. Okay, it needn't be the same for all. Okay, that is why I asked all of you to reflect first. Okay, now the reason for me to choose these pictures for today's session is this. Okay, very often I felt that you feel lonely out there. Okay, and you don't know if you'll get there. Okay, it feels so overwhelming. The whole ocean, it's like an ocean with full of books and study materials and everything, lot of information, where you feel like there is a sea of information out there. Again, how will you grab all of that? Yeah, so that was my intention with this picture. And over here, now there are different ways to look at it. You can be one of these people, okay, because it's highly competitive, so there are so many out there who want to reach the same destination. At the same time, it can also be like a lot of people are watching you. I mean, you feel alone in this whole journey, but there are so many people who are looking at you from outside, waiting to judge you, having a lot of expectations for you. Okay, you need to do that, you will be able to do that, or you're not doing this right, you're doing this wrong. A lot of people who are there looking from outside. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of eyes on you. Yeah, that is what I try to show through this picture. Yeah, and over here it's like Sneha said, you're fighting against the waves, okay, because it is such a tiring process. You're using so much of energy and you're using your own willpower, your passion, your interest. You're driving yourself using that, and it's not an easy thing. It's exhausting physically and mentally. In every way, it's exhausting. And still you're fighting hard. You're fighting with every challenge that's coming against you. But at the same time, there are also times when you feel like you've drowned or you're drowning. You're no longer able to swim, but you're going down. and it's getting so dark down there. You're drowning. So these were just my thoughts, okay, for taking these pictures. But like I said before, there can be a lot of interpretations, yeah, and none of them. The way you connect to something, the way you are experiencing this whole thing as you're preparing for UPSC exams or even other exams, what you are experiencing, that can be very unique to you. Yeah. So before we go further, I'd like to pose this question. Would anyone like to share, like, the things that I've said so far? Okay, is that true for you, or would you like to add something more about what are the kind of issues that you're facing? Anyone? I always
Hello,
like my
everyone.
sessions to be. Uh,
Please feel free to share your views and use your language of comfort, Malayalam, English, Hindi, or whatever. So don't feel hesitant. Ask questions, share your opinions. It's a free platform. Make use of it.
please know that this is a non-judgmental space, and we are here to help you. Whatever you're going through, we won't take it lightly.
Okay, I started my preparation on 2022. Okay, so in my first attempt, and half of my second attempt, a period of nearly 1.5 years. I'm
Okay.
completely telling this honestly. Okay, I really faced this issue of being, completely alone. Okay, so nearly 1.5 years of my preparation. I
Okay.
faced like really lonesome, like really alone, and I personally chose to be enjoy solitude. But when
Yeah.
it comes to when I started for UPSC preparation, I feel like there is a void in me.
Yeah.
Some sort of, I don't know how to explain that. I feel some sort of darkness or something like that, and it personally used to hurt me a lot. Like when the question arises, like when will I complete this journey,
Yeah.
or when will I going to make it? And there is so many external conflicts as well as internal conflicts. Okay,
Yeah.
so these kind of issues started, covering up my head, and personally, I think. As a UPSC aspirant, people need to have more emotional classes than,
Yeah.
we focus on how to study well, but
Yes.
the reality is that we need that emotional strength and capacity to clear the exam rather than focusing on the theories and contents of the exam.
Yes.
So once my 1.5 years of journey was over, I started accepting to things as they are. Like this is the part of journey, and this is
Mm.
the part of my expedition, and nobody is going to help you rather than you can only prioritize yourself and save yourself from this journey. So I started focusing on myself. I
Mm.
started giving less worry to the people or the conflicts that I was having as an external conflict, and I started working and investing on myself, and I think I got a lot matured
Yeah.
after started preparing for UPSC.
Wonderful, wonderful. May I know your
Thank
name?
Neha.
Sneha. Yes. Thank you, Sneha, for sharing that. In fact, that really brought out very important aspects. One is to, where you care for yourself more than what others say or others think. Okay, and even when we all want some kind of personal space and, our own area, but when we are facing such big amount of stress and, an overwhelming amount of lot of pressure, to feel like you're all alone out there, that's such a dreadful feeling. It's really hard to be alone when you're facing challenges. You need a person who understands what you're going through, to say that yes, we need emotional support more than, let's say, academics and the, what people say. Like, even when we go to school, what is mostly focused on? Academics, right? But in a school, for a child, a lot of other things are happening. Yeah, in the same way as you're going through this kind of a, phase of where you're preparing, that too, not one time, you're trying it again and again, so that also comes with additional pressure. Yeah, so to be able to tell about yourself that it has made me more mature, yes, that I believe that is a win, that is a victory. So thank you, Sneha, for sharing that. Anyone else, would you like to add something about your own experience, what this feels like for you? All right, so I hope that you have a lot of things in your mind. Nandu, can you read that?
Nincy, it's me only.
Okay.
Feel okay to ask the language of your
Okay.
comfort. That's what I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at the different kind of issues that come along with this whole preparation.
Nincy, sorry to interrupt. Midun has shared some of his views.
Okay.
Issues faced by me that I got depressed when I lose or when I'm unable to clear in each attempt. At
Yeah.
some point, I felt that I'm not fit for this. This
Okay.
imposter syndrome. I think we will cover that, right?
I mean, it's not just you, and it's not just this exam, but throughout life, when you face challenges and you feel like you're not able to get there, we start questioning ourselves. Am I good enough for this? Am I good enough? Am I fit? Okay, such questions come for a lot of us. Okay, so you're not alone there, and I'm sure there are many in this particular session who have also felt the same way. So over here right now, you're going to look at stressors. Okay, that is as a part of this whole preparation phase when you are trying to achieve something humongous like this. Okay, it affects you in different areas of your life. Yes, I'm focusing mainly on mental health issues, but you need to remember that it's all connected. Okay, our body is connected to our mind, the people around us, what they think, what they say very much influences how we feel. Yeah, so it's all very connected. So that is why I've put down these points. Okay, there is physical, psychological, social, financial, spiritual. That's again just to name a few. Okay, there might be other domains also depending on each one of you. Okay, so now what I want all of you to do is, I hope you have your paper and pen still with you, looking at each of these domains. Okay, I want you to write down how this whole preparation has affected you. Okay, again, I'm not going to ask everyone to share, but yes, those who wish to share, you can. So, like for example, how has it affected your body? How has it affected your health? For example, I'm not sleeping properly because of this. I'm so worried. I'm so tensed. I have lost my sleep. I don't feel like eating. Now, all of those are physical, how it has affected your body. Yeah. Psychological, how has it affected your mind? Like how Mithun said, I like Mithun fears that am I fit enough for this? Okay, so you feel doubtful about your own abilities, or like how Sneha said, you feel like you're alone in this. There is no one to support you. Yeah. So in each of these areas, okay, physical is related to your body, psychological your mind, social is your interactions with those around you, how the people around you, how you feel around them. Financial, of course, Okay, and spiritual, when I say spiritual, it needn't be religion as such. We tend to connect to the world our whole life in a very philosophical sense, maybe. For some of us, it's like, okay, I'm a purpose driven person. This is a meaning of my life. So, very often, when you go through stressful situations, you'll start wondering, what is the meaning of my life? Okay, now that is very much spiritual. Okay, so spiritual needn't be any particular religion. I'm not asking about your faith or anything, but how does your soul feel? So, in each of these areas, just try to put down points. Okay, if at all this whole preparation it is affecting you in these areas. Okay, let's try to bring a structure in our mind. Okay, and then you yourself will know how much it is affecting you. Yeah, it cannot be summarized in one or two words. Okay, so let's just take 2 minutes, and I want all of you to try to put down these points. Okay, under each of these domains, these areas, how has this preparation, your past attempts, and how you're trying to again do the same thing or attempt again, how is it affecting you physically, mentally, socially, financially, and spiritually? You needn't act strong over here. You can be very honest with yourself. For example, when I have to admit to myself that I feel like I'm a failure, or one quote that I found very interesting. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Yeah. So this whole, this preparation and everything, these exams, they come with a lot of tension and pressure and everything. It's part of the package. Okay. You can't stop that. You cannot escape that. Okay. I'm sure that Nandu will very well agree to that. It comes with that. So it's about learning to cope. Okay, how do I make the best out of it? And I again encourage those who can turn on your videos, please do, because I'm going to be here now. Yeah. So I'm just looking at a couple of alphabets and photos right now. So it would be encouraging for me to be able to see your faces. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So were you able to write down something in that paper regarding the issues that you are facing? You can just say yes and no. No need to explain right now. Yeah. Was it possible? Are you able to identify the issues that you're facing? That is the first question. Are you able to identify? Yeah. Yes. That is the first step to know that yes, I am struggling. Okay, I'm feeling alone. I feel like I'm worthless. Examples, okay, I'm saying examples. I've lost my sleep. I've not slept properly in the past week. Okay, to be able to identify that you're facing these issues, that is the first step that will help you make things better. Okay. So now let's just look at each of these areas. Okay, how this will affect you. What are the issues that are seen in a lot of people? And again, when I'm saying this, I want all of you to remember that you're not alone in that. Okay, when people are going through what you are going through, such situations, such issues are common. Let's look at the physical. Now, would you all agree that having a regular routine of physical activity and exercise becomes challenging when you're completely focused on these exams? Would you agree? You can show thumbs up. Physical exercise, yeah, physical activity as you're fully focused on exams and preparing for them, trying to get different sources of information and everything, your focus shifts, physical movement and exercise becomes less. You're in fact, you might find yourself in a very closed space. Now, everyone may not be having that same problem, okay? But you may be stuck inside your room, or let's say in the library, okay, in a closed space. That is where you spend most of the time of your day. So physical activity, engagement, everything goes down. And because of the stress and worry and everything, you may lose your sleep. You may not, give priority to a lot of other needs, physical needs, like maybe even eating on time. Would anyone like to add more issues that they face physically, physical issues? Okay, how this has affected your body?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
ഇപ്പോൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ് സെക്കൻഡ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ് സമയത്തൊക്കെ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഈ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് സ്റ്റഡി പ്രഷർ കാരണം നോർമലായിട്ട് എല്ലാ ആസ്പിറൻസും ഫേസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെ തന്നെ ഉറങ്ങാൻ കഴിയത്തില്ല, ലാക്ക് ഓഫ് സ്ലീപ്പ് ആയിരിക്കും. അതൊന്ന്. പക്ഷെ ഈ ഇതുപോലത്തെ ഈ പ്രഷർ പോലുള്ള കാരണങ്ങൾ റിഫ്ലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത് പിന്നെ ഞാൻ എത്ര ഫുഡ് അല്പം കഴിച്ച് വണ്ണം വെക്കുമായിരുന്നു. ഐ ഗെയിൻഡ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് വെയിറ്റ്, ലൈക്ക് ഒരു 10 kg കൂടി. എനിക്കറിയത്തില്ല, അങ്ങനെ കഴിക്കത്തുമില്ല, പക്ഷെ വെയിറ്റ് കൂടുതലാണ്. വെയിറ്റ് കൂടിയപ്പോ ഉള്ള പ്രശ്നം പറ്റിയെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അത് PCOD എത്തി, പിന്നെ ഹോർമോണൽ ചേഞ്ചസ് എത്തി, ഹെയർ ഫോളിലൊക്കെ ആയി. അങ്ങനെ കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി എത്ര വർക്ക്ഔട്ട് ചെയ്താലും ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഐ യൂസ് ടു ഗോ ഫോർ വാക്ക്, ഐ യൂസ് ടു ഡു എക്സസൈസസ്, എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്താലും അതെന്റെ ബോഡിയിൽ ഏൽക്കുന്നില്ല. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ മൈൻഡാണ് ഇതിന്റെ എല്ലാം കണക്റ്റഡ് ആയിരിക്കുന്നതെന്നാണ്. നമ്മുടെ മൈൻഡ് ഓക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമ്മൾ ഇനി എന്തൊക്കെ പഠിച്ചാലും എന്തൊക്കെ എക്സസൈസ് ചെയ്താലും അത് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ഒരു പ്രോപ്പർ റിസൾട്ട് തരത്തുള്ളൂ. നമ്മളിനി എത്രയൊക്കെ ഡയറ്റ് ഫോളോ ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ മൈൻഡ് ഓക്കെ അല്ല എങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഭയങ്കര ഒരു പ്രഷർ കൊണ്ടുള്ള ഭയങ്കര സ്ട്രെസ്ഫുൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയറിലാണ് നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അത് എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്താലും അതേക്കില്ല. പക്ഷെ ഇൻ മൈ തേർഡ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ്, ദാറ്റ്സ് മൈ കറന്റ് അറ്റംപ്റ്റ്, ആൻഡ് ഈ ഒരു വർഷം, ഐ മീൻ 2024 സ്റ്റാർട്ടിങ്ങിൽ ഞാൻ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയ ഒരു കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ദർ ഇസ് നോ പോയിന്റ് ഇൻ ഗെറ്റിംഗ് വെറി. കാര്യങ്ങൾ അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കി അത് മാനേജ് ചെയ്ത് പോകുന്നതിലാണ്, രാദർ ദാൻ ഗെറ്റിംഗ് പ്രഷറായി നമ്മൾ ടെൻഷൻ അടിച്ച് പാനിക്കായി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒന്നും പ്രോപ്പറായി പോകില്ല, ഉള്ളത് കൂടെ മെസ്സപ്പ് ആക്കിയേ ഉള്ളൂ. പക്ഷെ once I started realizing that, ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ I would a little bit of matured and I started handling things properly as they are.
Thank you, Sneha. Again, we can learn a lot from her. Now, what Sneha said was her body, she started gaining a lot of weight. Okay, and even when she was exercising and trying to manage all of it, it was not going down. More problems happened, like hair fall and a lot of things. Okay, now stress. We talk about stress as a psychological issue, a mind's issue, but stress very often manifests as bodily symptoms, where you're having headache, back pain, hair fall, or digestion problems. All such physical problems start happening. In a way, your body is telling you that I'm not feeling good. There is something wrong. That is what your body is trying to tell you. And if it is not taken care of, it can really cause even more bigger problems. We'll come to that later. Okay, so physically, as many of you already are experiencing, okay, it can really affect your day-to-day activities. Okay, now psychological, now that is like a major chunk. Okay, psychological issues. So let me keep that for later. Let's look at social issues. What happens when you're fully focused on something? It's hard for you to connect with people around you. Okay, either you feel really alone, okay, where no one is understanding you, or you'll find yourself amidst other aspirants and you'll feel that kind of a pressure. I'm not doing good enough. Okay, I'm not doing like how they are doing. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Okay, you'll compare with them and you'll compare with the general crowd. Oh, they're enjoying their lives. They're having everything they want to. They are living so happily. But why am I like this? Okay, you'll compare a lot. Okay, so socially, the way you connect with those around you changes. Okay, you'll start doubting yourself. You'll feel like I am alone, no one understands me. And you look at others and start comparing when they are leading their own lives and you're actually minding your own business. But suddenly you'll feel like, oh, they're having everything and I'm having nothing. Okay, comparisons happen. And those around you will make it harder for you when they start criticizing you. Okay, you're not doing this properly, especially when you're attempting more number of times. Others will again ask, okay, what happened last time? What are you doing this time? Are you finding other coaching centers, new coaching centers? They'll judge a lot, right? They'll make it really hard for you and they'll put up their expectations and everything. And it will all start building more and more pressure onto you. I'm sure you're able to identify, like, are there good friends around you? Or are they people who only criticize you and make you feel like you're worthless? So these are like social issues, but what will make it worse? It will make it worse when you have to depend on others, and especially financially when you're not independent. Okay, and when you have to depend on, let's say, your family, your parents for day-to-day needs, especially as adults, when we do that, you feel really bad about yourself. And if they're not so supportive and caring, they'll also make you feel bad, right? So being financially dependent on them just worsens the whole thing. Okay, you feel like, what am I doing with my time? I'm not able to do anything. I'm not earning anything. And what I'm doing right now, will I reach there? Will I be able to achieve this? You'll question everything, and you see that it'll all put you in this loop. It'll be really hard for you to come out of here. So all of this, okay, it'll put a lot of burden onto your mind. Okay, where you start doubting yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Like how Mithun said earlier, am I fit enough for this? You start doubting yourself, questioning yourself, and that is what's called as imposter syndrome. You feel like I'm not doing this properly. There is a lot of self-doubt, there is a lot of self-criticism, and you look at your past failures and think like, oh, it will again happen to me. You'll be afraid of that. You'll be running away from that failure. Or let's say you had some successes in your past, you'll think, oh, I'll never be able to do that again. Yeah, your past success and past failures, that itself will track you. And this negative loop that you are in, okay, where you are doubting yourself and comparing with those around you, and you feel like, I'm depending on others, I'm not able to do this all by myself, I'm all alone. It becomes this dark place, and that is where the whole drowning feeling comes. Okay, and it can lead to a lot of psychological problems. Okay, where you probably reach depression, anxiety. Especially, why anxiety? Because it's so uncertain. How much ever effort you put in, you don't know for sure if this will get you there or not. Yeah, you don't know if, okay, will I clear these exams? Okay, will I reach that final point? Will I reach that destination? It's so uncertain. Yeah, so that will bring up a lot of anxiety. Anxiety is always about the future. You don't know if it will happen. You're afraid. And depression tends to be about your past. Okay, you keep comparing and you think, oh, I'm such a failure. I've made so many mistakes. I've not been able to succeed before. I'll not be able to succeed now. So you'll move between depression and anxiety. All such problems arise because of this psychological burden. Yeah, and ultimately it'll make you feel so. It can. Okay, I'm not saying everyone will go through this, because like we saw how Sneha is able to slowly understand that, okay, I needn't worry about what others are thinking. I'll slowly start taking care of myself. And I'm hopeful that a lot of you are also trying to do that for yourself. But when these problems, issues don't get addressed, okay, ultimately where you even reach the point, what is the meaning of my life? Okay, it's better that I die. Yes, and that is when you try to suicide. Suicide is not an alien concept. Okay, a lot of people. I recently read that it's the third most frequent cause for death in our country. I've, in our country or foreign country, I'm not sure, but suicide is such a real thing. It can happen to anyone at any time. Okay, until it happens, you'll think, okay, it is for those who are cowards. Okay, but once you reach that point where you start thinking, death is better, my life is purposeless, life is meaningless, I have no value. This can happen to anyone. Even I've had such thoughts. So you start thinking like that about yourself. So when these issues are not addressed, okay, now this is not an exhaustive list, okay, whatever I shared, okay, I didn't want to dwell more into it, because I'm sure that you already know these things, okay. A lot of you are experiencing all of this. And my point of bringing this out here is just to say that, yes, a lot of us go through the same thing. You're not alone. You're not the only one feeling like that. There are many who are feeling that way. And if that is not taken care of, it can lead to bigger problems. Like I said, worst case is suicide, where you kill yourself. Okay. But even other than that, okay, people who will start using substances, okay, substances like drugs and alcohol, in order to help them cope with the situation. They're feeling so stressed out, so worried. So in order to find some relief, they start using substances. So that leads to addiction, okay, where you need that. Yes, I can only survive with that. Or like I said, when these mental pressure, the psychological pressure, it reaches a point where it becomes a disorder. Now, when I say a disorder, that is a state where you're not able to pull yourself up. Okay, you're feeling your mood is so low, but how much ever effort you put, you're not able to come up. Okay, you lose your motivation to do things. You no longer find things interesting. You lose your sense of happiness. So all of this, it's like closer to a disorder level. Okay, consistently, when this is happening consistently, like let's say for a time of 2 weeks, okay, 2 weeks you've not felt happy, you don't find interest in doing anything, you don't feel like talking to anyone, you feel like isolating yourself, you don't have the motivation to do anything. Okay, you're not able to sleep properly, you're not even feeling like eating properly. All of this are like they're real issues. Don't ignore them. Help is available. Help is available. Like you said in the beginning, if the only thing that you can remember from this session is this, I mean, I want it to be this, that help is available. Okay, reach out for help. Okay, there are people who can help you. Okay, each of these issues, when you're feeling like so scared of failing again, okay, slowly you can change your thoughts, you can get help to correct your thoughts, okay, to find that motivation. All of that can happen. You can be supported in this journey. Okay, you're not alone, you needn't do this alone. Okay, as you're preparing for this is a challenge, like we saw in that quote, you can't stop the waves. No, the waves will keep coming, and very often you may have to fight against it, and sometimes you'll feel like you're drowning, but while you're there you can learn how to cope with, and for that help is available. Now Nandu began this whole thing with a good intention of giving you guidance, okay, be it for the whole study material and preparation and everything, and apart from that the psychological support that you can get, okay, as you're enduring this stressful phase. Help is available. You're leaving it unanswered, unaddressed, that will only lead to even bigger problems. I mean, as the session began, Nandu itself said, right, about the suicide cases and everything. Okay, now, be it at the workplace or later in life, okay, later in life, all these situations can come up. Okay, let this whole UPSC preparation or clearing the exams and getting that position, let that not be the only meaning of your life. Your life is much more bigger than that. Yes, this is a big goal, and achieving that would change your life for sure, but your life, you are much more important than any exam that can come in front of you. And that is the only way you will be able to accept the victory and or the losses. You can only be able to accept that if you know that you are much more than that. Okay? That life will continue. No matter what happens, life will continue. And at any point, I'm telling you, even let's say as you start working in that position, again you'll go through a lot of stress, you'll go through a lot of these negative thoughts, and at any time you can fall victim to it and you may try to kill yourself. That is the reality. So it is about coping through this period and learning how to manage this. That is what will actually change your life. Okay, where you're able to care for yourself irrespective of what is happening around you, what others are saying, what you feel about yourself. Irrespective of all of that, when you are able to endure and go through this whole thing, okay, that is the biggest lesson you can get out. And like I said, that there are things that are there to help you. So having said that, now before we go to the strategies, okay, that is strategies. Now let me give you a heads up. I don't think you're going to hear anything new, okay, right now. A lot of things that I say, we are already hearing that a lot these days. You see a lot of motivational videos and everything. A lot of these things that I say, you've already heard that, okay? It is just about doing it. That is the only thing that matters, okay? Be it journaling or be it, self-care practices, all of those things, nothing is new. Nothing is going to be all magical and, answering every problem, solving everything. No, these are already things that we know of. It's just about doing it, practicing it, doing it again and again on a regular basis. That is what we make all the difference. But before we go to that, okay, I'd like to again ask if any of you would like to share something. Like we have talked about different kinds of issues that you've faced and you may face, and what happens when they're not addressed properly, when they're not given importance. Would any of you like to say something, share something?
Hello, Nincy. Arya has already shared her concern that the social pressure we get, okay,
Yeah.
especially being a girl, it is too much. When we prepare and being a girl, there is a lot of social pressure and social expectation from family, extended family, etc. So, how do we manage?
That's a very important point that you brought up. Okay, being a woman, it becomes even more challenging. Yeah, because especially in our society, like you're supposed to get married at this right time, you're supposed to do this and do that. So it takes the whole thing in a very different direction. Yeah, so the social pressure, especially when those around you, your family, say they are not supportive, okay, that can cause a lot of stress where it makes the whole thing even more challenging. I cannot directly tell you, like, do this and do that, and then that will be solved. No, doesn't work that way, because unless those people, they are willing to change their perspective. Like, for example, if they're pushing you towards marriage or pushing you towards a particular thing because you are a woman, unless they change their perspective, their behavior is not going to change. Their behavior will continue the way. The only thing that you can influence, or let's say manage a little bit, is the way you respond to that, the way you respond to pressure. Okay, when they are putting in a lot of questions and doubts into your mind, to be able to say that, see, this is my priority, at least to say to yourself, because very often you can't keep fighting with them all the time. But when you're clear, okay, this is what I want to do, this is my priority. So it's like a guard, or it protects you to at least a certain extent. It won't remove the whole pressure. Okay, it will always be there. They'll keep, like I said, unless they change their mindset, their behaviors will continue. It is the same way. You look at anything around you, society in general, a lot of things continue the way it is because people are not willing to change their mindset. And it takes so much of effort to actually change the society's mindset and perspective. Yeah. So that pressure will always be there. The only thing is how you choose to react or respond to that pressure. And when I say respond or react, it's not about what you say to them, okay, the way you act out. No. Mostly, I would say what you say to yourself when you're hearing that, when they're saying something, or when they're behaving in a particular way. What are you telling yourself? That is what will really help you. Like, when you keep saying the right things to yourself, you will be able to manage those waves in a better way. I'm not sure if that is sufficient for you right now, but if if any of you would like to, talk more about what you're going through, we can connect outside the session also. Yeah, but for now, let me know if that answers you, Arya.
Array is saying yes.
All right. So now coming to the strategies. Okay. Again, let's look at each of these domains that we discussed earlier. The physical domain, when you're struggling with, let's say, a lack of sleep or lack of proper physical activity, exercise, or weight gain, just see that you have a healthy lifestyle. Okay. Yes, very often the sleep gets disrupted because of your tension and worries. We'll come to that. But physically, having food at the right time, having a healthy diet, taking time for exercise, okay, physical movement, and time to engage physically doing things that you enjoy or find joy in. Okay, that can be a real booster. It's not about completely devoting your entire time for, let's say, studies alone, but also about understanding, okay, when to do this and when to do that. In that sense, following the right kind of habits, and know that substances, drugs, and alcohol, they will not solve your problems. In fact, they'll make it worse. So if you've got into those, you need to get help. Okay, you need to stop using those. There is no other way. Very often people might do it recreationally, but that is the starting point. It gets worse from there. It does not solve the problems. It's like you use painkillers to remove the pain, but the cause for the pain is still there. So once you stop taking painkillers, the pain returns. Okay, and in this case, drugs and alcohol, it will just keep getting worse because you'll need more drugs and more alcohol. Yeah. So having a healthy diet, okay, taking care of your health, okay, that becomes very important. And socially, okay, before going to the psychological, because we have more things to cover under that. When it comes to social connections, choose your friends carefully. Okay. If there are people who are completely, judging you, criticizing you, tell them, okay, be clear that, see, I'm not comfortable with you speaking this way. And be around people who actually appreciate and value you for what you do. Not appreciate, but respect you. So choose your social circle in a way that, and let it not all be about studies. Okay? Spend time with friends who are doing other things. And when you have such close interactions, you'll know that others, every person is going through their own challenge. It may not be a UPC preparation, but in their own life, they're facing some kind of challenge and it is big for them. So everyone, even though we see all the happy faces and everything on social media posts, the truth is everyone is going through their own set of problems. So talking to them and understanding how their life is, that's like a distraction from your own problems. Okay. So having such meaningful social interactions, that can help you. And social support. Okay, have support groups. Okay, if a couple of you can get together, I don't know if that is possible between you, but where you have the same set of challenges, shared experiences, so support each other. Okay, like how Sneha said, it's not all about academics. You sit together and share about how you're feeling emotionally, how your health is affected. You share about the struggles you're facing. Okay, have that kind of support groups. Okay, so socially you're helping yourself, backing yourself up, because you're not alone in this. Okay, you're not alone. That is a lie. You're not alone. Yes, your experience that is very unique, but you can get support, you can get help on the way. And coming to the financial aspect now, I'm sure that Nandu already tries to tell me, if possible, if there is any way for you to be financially at least earn some amount of money by taking tuitions or something like that, which is in close connection with what you're already doing. Okay, so at least to meet your basic needs, you may have something with you, so that you don't always have to depend on someone else. If that is an option for you, go for it. Okay, because financial independence is very important, especially for adults. Okay, so if that there is any way to do that, do that. But if that option is not there for you, it is just about holding on tight, telling you that this is not the end. Okay, what you're going through right now, that is not the end. Life will anyway go forward, and you will not be in the same place. Let's say later on in your future, this is not going to be going to be where you are. So the people around you may make you feel like this is all you can do. This is where you'll be stuck always. But no, that is not true. You'll definitely go forward in life. Okay, so financial independence is very helpful. But if that is not an option for you, just hold on tight. Be patient with yourself. Coming to the psychological aspects of it, a lot of us, our main issue are the thoughts that we have inside us. Okay, how we think about the whole situation. So when you keep thinking, like, look at your thoughts and try to figure out, are they helping you or are they not helping you? Okay, when you say things like, I'm not capable of doing this, I've already failed before, I'll fail again, I'll always be a failure. Okay, I'm really bad, I'm not capable, things like that. If you keep repeating these things to yourself, that is who you will be. Okay, our thoughts shape what we turn into. So choosing thoughts that help you. Okay, look at the things that you are doing. Okay, you are putting in effort, you're trying, you're working hard. All those, even the smallest things that you do for yourself, that becomes your booster. Okay, you keep repeating those thoughts. Okay, so choosing the helpful thoughts over the unhelpful thoughts, and make self affirmations using that. Okay, where you tell yourself, no matter what, I keep trying, I've always been like that, I never give up. Say things that promote yourself. Okay, so changing your thoughts has a lot to do with how you end up feeling, because if our thoughts are all unhelpful, you'll end up feeling so bad. Yeah, if I keep telling myself, I'm such a failure, I'm such a failure, I'm such a failure, I won't feel happy, no. Yeah, so your feelings are very much connected to your thoughts. So the key over here, if you change your thoughts, you change your feelings. And when you change your feelings, the way you behave, the way you act changes. That's the connection. Okay, so thoughts are like the root. Oh no, actually not thoughts. Okay, you have beliefs. Even under each of these thoughts, there are some belief systems. Okay, like for example, you've had a past failure and you've started believing that I will fail again. That becomes a belief. So every thought that comes from that belief will have the same flavor. So identify what are your beliefs. Okay, deep down over there in your mind, what is it that you believe? Okay, are you doing this for yourself? Are you doing this to prove yourself to someone else? Are you doing this for someone else? Are you doing this because of someone else? Okay, what is the belief that is driving you? Okay, and if that is, let's say, unhelpful, everything that follows is also unhelpful. So change your thoughts. And in order to change your thoughts, you need to identify what is it that you believe in. And when you keep doing that, now, this does not happen overnight. It does not happen in one go. You'll have to keep repeating to yourself. Every time your mind, I'm using I am a failure example because that is quite common. So if your mind keeps repeating, I am a failure, each time you may have to say that I've done so many things, okay, and I've succeeded in such things, and I keep trying. And as long as I keep trying, there is a chance that I'll succeed. Yeah. So in that sense, now as long as I keep trying, there is a chance that I succeed. That can be taken in another way also. But what I'm trying to say is that every time a negative thought, an unhelpful thought comes, you may have to remind yourself that no, that is not the truth. In that sense, you care for yourself. Okay, you care for yourself. Take some time and give yourself some care and give yourself some love. One thing that I do very often in my counseling session is a self-compassion break. Okay, once I say that, we'll wind up the session. We'll keep the floor open for questions. Okay, so for the self-compassion break, now let's do that right now. So I want all of you to be in a comfortable position, and I hope you're all listening to me because the videos and everything is off. I'm not sure. Okay. So those of you who are there and who are listening to me, for a self-compassion break, I want you to just be comfortable first and then just gently bring your attention to your breathing. Don't try to change your breathing or anything. Just observe yourself breathing. Yes, you're alive and you're breathing. And every time you breathe in, just taking that breath and imagine that is the energy you need, or that is the peace that you need, that is the happiness that you need, that's the motivation that you need. Breathe in, imagining that it is what you need. And as you breathe out, release your fears, anxiety, tension. Just release that. If it is okay for you, you can do this keeping your eyes closed. Just breathe in what you need and breathe out what you wish to release. Do that about 2-3 times. And then I want you to take your hand and place it on your heart. Okay, just place your hand on your heart. Just feel yourself and tell yourself something that you really wish to hear. Okay, it can be as simple as it's okay. Tell yourself that it's okay. Whatever is it that you really wish to tell yourself. Just say that, and then yeah, open your eyes and you can return to the session or whatever is it that you're doing. Yeah, that is a small self-compassion break. Okay, you're giving yourself some compassion. You're telling yourself that I'm with you. So, with that, let's bring this down. And if you have any questions, anything you wish to share, we have about 20 minutes remaining. If you have no questions, we can end it earlier also.
Hello, everyone. The floor is open to you. You can ask questions.
Yes, so my question was that in this same loop of thinking and overthinking about things when we are stuck or not able to move forward, there are some irrational thoughts that comes to mind that don't have any logic in reality. So one such thought that has been coming in my mind, that is, maybe I'm since the time I have come to Delhi for my graduation, things have been a bit difficult staying away from home and studying. So I thought that maybe because I am in this city maybe is not helping me, or my hometown was better for me to work because there things worked. So this is just an example. I mean, things like that are not rational
Yeah.
but seem very logical when we view it from this mind space. So
Yeah.
how I mean tackle that?
Now, the first thing for any kind of thought is for you to identify the thoughts, okay? Because our thoughts just happen so quickly. We have a lot of thoughts that happen at the same time. So the best way to identify that is to know what you're thinking is to write them down. Okay, journaling is very helpful for that. So writing them down, what are your thoughts? Like for example, right now you said, okay, being at my home is better for me. Okay, so write down the thought, and as you write them, it becomes in front of you, right? Rather than being inside your mind, you see your thought in front of you, and that helps you understand that okay, is that thought actually helping me? What is that thought doing? Okay, because very often when we are stressed out, we worry about everything. Yeah, we look at everything around us and try to say, okay, that is not good for me, or this will go wrong, that will go wrong. Yeah, those are thoughts on the run. Yeah, so identifying your thoughts and then being very picky about your thoughts. Okay, like I said, okay, when you know that when you yourself call them as irrational, that means you're able to say that okay, that thought is rational. This is not making any sense. Okay, so when the thought comes out, okay, to be able to say that okay, no, that's an irrational thought. So I don't want that. That is developing that kind of a, what do you say, you're building that kind of an agency within yourself that says that, see, I don't want this thought in my head. Okay, I understand that yes, a lot of worry and I'm really stressed out or tensed, and that is why such thoughts are coming in. But that's okay, that is not true. To know that your thoughts are not facts. Our thoughts are just thoughts, they are not facts. Okay, we always think they are facts and we try to act like, okay, that is like that, so I shouldn't do like this. Yeah, but your thoughts are just thoughts, and there are high chances that they are wrong also. Yeah, does that
Yes.
answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Nincy, I would like to add something here.
Yeah.
One of my friend has suggested having a separate time block for overthinking would actually help. Basically, you are delaying the process of overthinking, and if there is a window, 5 or 10 minutes window, there you can have that
Yeah.
overthinking, and also channelize the same for if you can identify this these thoughts are irrational, and
Mm.
maybe you can use that productively or constructively.
Yes.
Having a separate window for overthinking.
Yes. That is actually true, okay? Because what are we doing when we are saying that, okay, my overthinking time is from, for example, 5 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. Okay, 15 minutes for overthinking. Okay, so what are you doing? You're telling yourself that, okay, I will overthink, but let me do it then. So in a way, you're showing yourself that I can control my thought. You're showing yourself that I'm not being controlled by my thoughts, but I will control my. That happens, okay? If you don't control your thoughts will start controlling you. So when you move it to, let's say, you pick a time for that, okay, this is my overthinking time. So eventually what happens is that you realize that, why am I overthinking? What is the point of it? And you'll give up that. Okay, that is the whole purpose. In fact, it is also done for people who have smoking issues, people with smoking. When we say that you should stop smoking, yeah, I cannot help it, I cannot stop smoking. So we, okay, you dedicate a time for smoking, we say that. And then what happens is that slowly when they do that, oh, so I'm able to control this. Yeah, they understand for themselves that, okay, I can control it if I want to. But yes, it takes time. None of this happens in one go. You try again and again, and that is how you succeed.
Nincy, I would like to ask an important question here.
Yeah.
The main issue that we face when we start prepare for this exam is the issue of time management. Whether I would be able to finish it on time or am I lagging behind. So especially when we have this kind of time issue or time constraints, and we often end up in stages of burnout and distraction. So how
Yeah.
do we manage all these things? Especially when we have time management issue, and after repeated attempts and prolonged study for weeks and like months, we get burned out. So
Yeah.
how do we address these things?
First of all, now exhaustion, burnout is a part of it. Okay, when I mean, look at yourself. You're trying to cover such a vast portion, and there is also a definite time. Okay, there is a timeline, and it's like that ocean. No, there is an ocean in front of you. So exhaustion is definitely a part of it. But when it comes to time management, it's about scheduling your time according to what you want to achieve. That is goal setting. Okay, you're setting goals according to what is possible for you, not based on someone else's agenda, but based on what works for you, which part of the day is best for you, or being in which place helps you the most. Okay, looking at all such factors. Okay, or looking at different subjects. Okay, when I do the subject in the morning, I'm able to pay more attention, or at night I am more focused, so this subject will be better if I do it at night. So understanding yourself, okay, understanding what works for you, and setting goals to goals up for victory. So setting goals like that can help you understand how much time you have available with you. Like earlier in the strategies for helping yourself, I said you need to exercise and do such things. Self care is an important thing. So when you look at your entire day, you have only so many hours for, let's say, studies or this preparation. Okay, understanding that, okay, I don't have the entire day, but I have only so many hours, and those hours, how can I utilize it effectively? But yes, whenever we set goals, don't be so rigid about it. Okay, because things come unexpectedly. Maybe one day you're not feeling well, one day your mood is so low. Okay, so to be able to understand that, okay, I'm not feeling so great today, so how can I shift this to some other time? Or is there an effective way to change my particular schedule for that day? Okay, in that sense, being aware of how your time works for you. Someone else's time is not your time. Okay, someone else may be able to do things in a particular way, but that does not mean you do it that way. So understanding that what works for you, and especially considering everything that you need to cover, okay, how can I schedule it properly? And if you have mentors, okay, taking guidance from them, okay, I need to do this and I'm struggling with this. Whenever I'm planning for this, I'm not able to do it. So how can I change that? So taking helps, I mean, suggestions from them, that is always good. Okay, but even when you get such advices or guidance, to see that okay, which of that works for me or which is not working for me. Some things don't work, okay? When you try to help yourself in one or the other, like for example, journaling does not work for everyone. Okay, some people don't find journaling helpful, but you get to that point where you understand that okay, this is not helping me. That is only when you try. So set goals, okay, smart goals. Okay, there is something called smart goal setting. Maybe you're already familiar with that, where the goals are specific, that is, it is clear cut rather than vague goals. You can measure how far you have completed a goal, okay, and then it is, achievable for you. Okay, you are able to achieve it, and it is important for you, it is relevant for you, and also you're considering the time. So we have S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for relevant, and T. Just said that. Okay, there are goal setting techniques. Okay, but yes, time management usually is answered by goal setting.
I would like to bring attention to one more important thing, that is when we start preparing, especially after going through repeated attempts, the issue or the biggest challenge that we face is no much reward in between. Unless or until you clear the exam, there is no much reward in between. So how do we get okay with this delayed gratification process? Because the gratification or the result is at the very end. It's very far. So how do we get there, or how do we manage that?
Rewards are definitely, motivating. As in, when you get a reward, you have the motivation to go forward. But very often that is not how life works. Okay, you don't get rewarded so much. That is a fact of it. So the blunt answer would be to accept the fact that you won't always get rewards, but to keep yourself going, to keep yourself motivated, okay, rather than focusing entirely on the outcome, the result as the biggest reward. That is the reward. To be able to appreciate every small effort that you do. Okay, when you're able to do something, again tying it back to the goal setting, when you have set goals for a particular day, and when you have achieved those goals for that day, to be able to tell yourself that you did good, now that is a reward. Rewards needn't be all materialistic. Okay, telling yourself that yes, I did good, that can motivate yourself. Or let's say having something that you enjoy doing, or spending time with, all such things. You choose your rewards, and you reward yourself throughout the whole process. You needn't wait till the end. You needn't wait till one attempt is done, but throughout the whole journey, keep motivating yourself and keep rewarding yourself. And again, let's not go with the typical definition of reward, where it is something tangible, and where others can also call it a reward. No, your reward may be personal, very personal, where you feel that it's a reward. So in that sense, find things that give you more meaning, like a sense of meaning. That is the only way you can go through the whole thing. A reward oriented style wouldn't actually be sustainable, because you don't get rewards in life, sadly.
Thank you, Nincy. I think Adira has got a question. Adira, feel free to ask.
Yeah, hi Nancy. So like my question is because this exam isn't like you might be really well prepared, but even then the previous day's sleep and the previous days and the exam day's mindset can have a huge effect on our result of the day. So like do you have any tips for the eve of the exam and how how we can control the nervous jitters, like how we can think clearly and focus on the question? Like
Yes.
any
So,
tips to manage the stress of the previous day and the exam day?
okay, so today's session, I believe you already knew, this was all more focused on the whole preparation phase. Okay, not exactly like during the exam or just before the exam, but that doesn't mean those are like separate events. When you practice this whole thing during the whole preparation phase, where you're looking, watching your thoughts, you're trying to help yourself through different self-care practices. In that sense, when you keep practicing this in the long run, what happens is even before the exam or right during the exam, these things, these techniques become more accessible for you. Let me give you a simple example. Now, breathing exercises are very often used for relaxation. It's like the basic and core of almost all relaxation exercises where you do deep breathing. Okay, but let's say I'm trying to help a totally different example, okay, like different context. A person who is having anger issues, I'm telling when you're feeling angry, you start deep breathing. If a person does not practice that, right when a person is, let's say, waiting to shout and yell, that person will not feel like deep breathing. That person will only feel like yelling. Okay. But when the person practices on a regular basis to do breathing and calm yourself, the person is teaching themselves that, okay, I'm trying to be calm. Okay. And as I'm breathing, I'm becoming calm. So what are you doing? You're training yourself in a particular way. So in that sense, what we have discussed today, as you practice them on a regular basis, now, when I say practice them, now practicing all of these things, that is not possible. It is about trying different things out and understanding, okay, what is helping you calm down? What is helping you relax? What is helping you manage your worries? As you practice them regularly, even before the exam or during the exam, those techniques will help you. It's like you've been nurturing them. So they help you at that time. So practice makes things better. That is my answer for you. But yeah, I mean, if you have that kind of anxiety issue, like during that time, if a panic attack comes and things like that, now there are specific things that should be done for panic attacks or such intense episodes of worry. But yeah, that is another topic. Yes, like I said before, now in a group session like this, group setting like this, we may not be able to address specific issues that each one of you may be facing. So I want you to remember that help is available. Again, help is available. Okay. If there are specific issues that you'd like to talk about and need help with, I'm sure Nandu will help you with contacting me, or if there is someone else in your close circle, a professional, a mental health professional, please approach them.
I would like to ask one or two questions. First one is regarding, it is an important question yet sensitive. How do we manage the issues of relationships, breakups, etc. during the course of preparation? It's sensitive, so take a general approach on it.
General approach, yeah. Now, relationship issues and breakup issues are, another bag of problems as such. Okay. So having both of them together would be really hard. Okay. I mean, that is a terrible place to be, if I'm very honest, because when you have a relationship issue, be it an intimate partner or even, let's say, even family issues, all of that becomes so emotionally draining that it'll really suck the energy out of you, and you won't be available. Your presence won't be available for the exams. Okay? So if that is what you're going through, I mean, right now in the preparation phase, if you feel like your partner is not supporting you, you may have to draw some boundaries over. Now, this is in general, I'm saying, okay, because for each person, it's very, very, very much personal and specific. Yeah, but drawing boundaries in unhealthy relationships, it's very important. Okay, people who make you feel like you're worthless or make every effort of yours feel like no, it's not enough. Okay, if there are people like that around you, they're not understanding what you're going through, right? So you might want to tell that to them that, see, this is not helping me, or you're not able to understand what I'm going through, or use yourself. Like I feel that you're not able to understand what you're going through, and understanding that relationship, how it works for you, so that everything don't come in the end together. Yeah, I don't know if that answers the question, because you can't speak generally about relationship and breakup issues, but all I can say generally, it's really tough to, I mean, people approach for counseling just because of breakup issues and relationship issues. So if you have this and that together, that's really challenging. But again, help is available. Okay, if you're struggling emotionally, help. That is my motto today. Help is available.
So the point is, when you're confronting with such a deadly combination, it is time to seek professional help, right?
Yes.
So one more final question. So how do we understand? How do we actually understand the fact that life is more important than UPSC or any other exam for that matter? Simply, we all know that, but we often forget that, or we don't get able to internalize the same thing.
Yes.
We sometimes like get on a rat race to get succeed. And
Yes.
this is my final question. So,
Mm.
how do we understand that properly, or how do we internalize that life is more important than UPSC?
I did mention in between that your the whole meaning of your life, your existence, it should not be this exam, what comes out of it. Please don't fall for that illusion, okay? When you're putting an effort for something that is day and night, constantly you're working for something, you believe that you start believing that this is what my life is about. This is what my life is about. But when, let's say, when that is gone, you feel like your life is over, but that is just an illusion. Now again, giving a totally different situation and scenario to show a similar, not similar, but now there are people who have cancer. Okay, so very often, especially because I'm working in palliative care, when children have cancer, let's say the mother starts dedicating her life for the child day and night, full time. The mother is with the child. Okay, but then let's say the child's cancer advances to a level where there is no treatment options available. And finally, the child passes away. So the mother loses everything. The mother starts thinking like, my life is over. My life is over. What is the meaning of my life? My child is gone. There is nothing more in my life. The mother reaches that point. Okay. Now, as a common person, don't think about psychology or anything. As a common person with compassion, what would you say to that mother? First of all, you try to understand what the mother is going through, and then you'll try to show the mother that there is still life ahead. If the mother has other children or a family to take care of, there are other things that the mother can do. Yeah, the child was suffering. The child was suffering. Cancer is a very painful condition. Okay? When the person is suffering, finally the person dies. In a sense, the person is, at rest. So you show the mother that there are other things. Now this is like a totally extreme example that I showed you. But what I'm trying to say is, in our life, at several points, okay, right now it might be UPSC exam for you, but imagine, let's say you clear it, you get to that position you wish to, and even then life continues and you'll face lots of challenges, and you might even think that, okay, that was nothing, this is worse. You'll have such things that you work toward, okay, and then again maybe you face a lot of failures in between. But life doesn't get over at any of these points. It does not. Life continues. Life always moves on. Okay, even when horrible things like death happens, okay, life moves on. Yeah. So don't attach the meaning of your entire existence onto this one thing. It is never like that. It cannot be this one person. It cannot be this one thing. It cannot be any one thing. Because as a person, you are like, what do you say? You've lived so much. You're an aggregate of all your experiences, emotions, memories, feelings, thoughts, everything, your dreams and everything. No, who are you? Yourself is much more bigger than that. It is not just one thing. It is much more than that. So look at this whole exam in that sense. Okay. I mean, yes, you're putting in effort, dedicated effort to achieve something. I'm not making that anything insignificant. Okay. In no way am I trying to imply that. But there is life even after that. Okay, even if you say achieve that thing, or let's say it does not work out for you, life still goes on. Yeah, and you're there as yourself, you're there to live that life.
I think with that we can wind up this question answer session or the part
Okay.
of the session. If there is any question, just feel free to ask. I guess it is fine then. Sneha, you have question?
No, sir, experience regarding the question you asked.
Okay.
You talked about the breakups and relationship during the UPSC, right?
Yeah.
It's my personal opinion. Just don't go for unwanted friendships or unwanted relationships during any sort of like your primary goals, like your career phase. It's my real personal opinion because I have faced real problems as well as issue because when we try to be the empathetic or the if we try to deal them straightforward or in a very generous way, the other person who stands opposite to us, there is a high chance of they can take advantage of our kindness. Because lately I have an experience that one of a very close family friend kind of asked for my personal support. So what I did was I helped that person in a very open-minded heart. I didn't expect anything, but what I realized later was that this person was overthinking about the whole situation and started creating fights with me. and giving me this anxious treatment, silent treatment. Okay, silent treatment. That person asked me for help, and when I held back, that person go for silence for weeks. I started thinking that this is my mistake in that friendship. I started even blaming myself to a point. Then I realized that it's not my problem, and that person is a really immature person, because that person is nearly 3 or 4 years elder than me. I'm only 22. That person is 26, and if he can't handle the situation, it's not my problem. And I have even noticed that he asked for question papers, like exam solving question papers. I listen in Telegram, the forward questions and all. This person was unsending those messages, unsending the question papers. So I felt like, what the hell am I doing here? That kind of mess crab question started forming in my head. Then I realized that people can be like this, a real me, even if our intention was to help them or see them in a better position. So these kind of people, we will definitely meet during our UPSC preparation. All we have to do is just literally cut them off. You won't regret it. You'll be literally be happy when they are gone out of life. Trust me.
Thank you, Sneha,
Thank you,
for
Sneha.
sharing, something personal and yet giving us a message. Yes, cut off those toxic relationships, cut off. But very often in life, that's really hard to do. Okay, because it's really hard to, just cut things off, even when we know that is what we are supposed to do. But yes, drawing those boundaries are very important. Knowing that the person is just mistreating you. Okay, where someone's immaturity seems like your problem. Okay, they're feeling sad and hurt and everything. It seems like your problem. So drawing boundaries there, it's very important. Yeah.
So the crux would be identify the problem initially and stay away from new problems when you are already in a lot of.
When you know that, okay, this is my priority. Okay, making it clear to the other person also. See, this is my priority right now, and this is all what I can do. Okay, in a relationship also, where a relationship takes a lot of time and effort to say that, see, I'm not in a position to do that right now. And for you to realize that, yes, trying to work around in a relationship when you're trying to focus on this might be actually putting yourself under a lot of pressure.
Okay, with that, I think we can wind up the session. Thank you so much, Nincy, for such an insightful and valuable session. We wish to see you in the future. You can connect to Nincy through me. With that, let's wind up. Thank you for joining us tonight. Once again, thank you and have a good night.
Thank you all. Thank you, and wishing you all the best.